wanted to talk about soul connection with yourself right now, because I think there's a bit of it's kind of woo-woo territory, isn't it? Like, it's maybe not even kind of, it definitely is, isn't it? I remember growing up, like, I'm a Catholic. I was, brought up in a very Catholic environment. My dad took me to church every Sunday. I went to a Catholic school. I went to a convent. And there was a lot of fear around the spirit world, okay? Which was, for me, further exacerbated by that terrible movie called The Exorcist. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but oh my gosh, I was like, ha! I mean, I think if I remember, I don't even want to think about it. The head was even spinning at one stage with spew or something coming out. And I honestly, okay, so now I've totally, created a horrible vision for you, and I apologize. But that absolutely terrified the living daylights out of me, that movie. I mean, to the point that I am absolutely paranoid. I think we landed up watching it twice. And then one of my friends at school, who she told me, I don't know if it's true, that her mum was involved in an exorcism with one of the priests, with somebody in Harare in Zimbabwe, and that just totally freaked me out. I did not sleep, no jokes. I think it was 2, possibly 3 weeks without having the lights on. I had to get my mum to go and check under the beds. I was absolutely terrified. I was like, it scarred me for life. Absolutely scarred me for life. I just don't know how anyone would make such an awful movie, and it absolutely scared me silly, right? So that terrified me when people started talking about spirit world. I was thinking all of that kind of crazy, that weird, off the wall, horror. It really was horror. And I'm so empathic that I can't watch horrible movies at all. I don't even like watching things where there's harm caused. I'm okay with action movies, provided they don't get too full on with how they hurt people or stuff. I just can't watch it. I just don't have. I think because of my reaction that I had from that first movie, I went the complete opposite. It's just like, do you know what? I'm just not going to get involved in that. Just, I can't. It's still beyond me why people will pay money to go and get terrified. I do not get it at all. I don't. There must be a psychology behind it, because I don't know what it is. It's like my philosophy is they should jolly pay me to go and watch those movies, not the other way around. But anyway, that's a sidebar. The effect of which, in this instance for me, was that I got really terrified about the unknown, this supernatural world that you have no control over, and that could cause you harm, okay, and that you can't do anything about it, okay. That concept just scared me silly. So when the other thing is as well, which I thought was really interesting, is we talk quite often that, saying, the devil makes use of idle hands or idle minds. It's that kind of saying. So there was always a need to be busy. That was kind of drummed into us at school, and at church, that it's, now I know what now as an adult, that it was promoting don't be lazy. But in my child mind, it was, if I stay busy, then this horrible thing won't come anywhere near me. And as I grew over the years, I started learning, through, like, meditation was just such a no-no. That was woo-woo. That was, you pray, but you don't do meditation. And really, at the end of the day, it's the same friggin' thing. It's the same universal source energy. And I have come to get and understand that the ultimate source of energy that created everything that we see is a force for good. It's not a force for bad. Every time I've meditated, it's been a sense of calm, a sense of bliss, a sense of protection, a sense of stability, a sense of warmth, a sense of unity, a sense of freedom. is just so benevolent and kind. And I was like, how did that get so skewed? Is that, and then I thought, well, it's just my personal experience that's been like that. And I just don't know if it is. You know, is there still, I think it's become more accepted, the meditation, world of meditation now, but to the point where there's no fear. Now, one of the things that people do, if this is a concern for you, is to surround yourself with white light, and then you have a supernova blue light, which can go over it, which makes you, Nikki, what's her name? Nikki, is it Nikki Sky, who talks about this? She is in the UK, really neat lady actually, and she is a healer for trauma, really good healer for trauma. And she's very in tune with the higher source, with the, you know, the benevolent force that lies beyond us, from which we all came and which we all go back to. And she talks about, you know, she has a thing, she says, you know, I surround myself with white light, I surround myself with a supernova blue light. And that supernova blue light, she always says, you know, it make me invisible to any negative forces. They can't see me, they can't hear me, they can't sense me. And then she proceeds with her meditation. So that might be useful to some people who are, you know, like nervous about going there, and like, maybe, well, should I or shouldn't I? Or no, I'm worried about that. Because by giving yourself that space, Eckhart Tolle also talks about, you know, that the benevolence of it. Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dwyer, Oprah Winfrey, all of them, all these people, all of the you know, the Dalai Lamas. I mean, Dalai Lama's the king of meditation. I mean, that guy just sits on a flipping rock and he meditates most of the day, man, you know, with crowds of guys around him. So it can't, you know, and they're all good, right? So I look at the monasteries or the monks and whatever, and they just forever are doing this stuff. And everybody is better off for it as a result, you know? So I think dispelling that myth of, you know, ooh, it's a bit sort of out there. You know, I got there, I think, from just doing yoga and then just doing breathing exercises. And then the next thing was, okay, if I do this white light thing and then this blue light thing, and if I tune really into how I'm feeling, like if I get an uneasy feeling or whatever, I just go, do you know what, I'm shutting down. And it might be, I've got to be honest with you, I have had a handful of those where I've gone, oh, I don't feel good about this, and it's normally my mind rabbiting on about something negative that's happened during the day. Then I start thinking about how unkind they are and how awful they are, and then it's actually the negative energy of me thinking about their, you know, negative energy that has kind of polluted the meditation moment, which I think, you know, as the Buddhists talk about it, it's like when you meditate, you're going to get these thoughts and they're like clouds, and you just got to let them pass. You know, just acknowledge, observe it, and then just let it pass. Now, if it's dragging you in too much, I would actually say, look, you know, just say, do you know what? Not today. The other thing I would suggest is, if you're getting into the whole meditation thing, connecting with soul, it's don't go all out. Like, you know, I'm an all or nothing. I go in, I go hard, I deep dive into whatever area of interest I'm in, and I try to become, you know, I just concentrate all my learning in that particular area until I've really cracked it, okay? And ideally become a master at it. So I'm quite intentional about that. But there's some folks where that won't work for you. Like, it is actually incredibly hard to quieten your mind for lengthy periods of time, and I've got to tell you, it's even a challenge for me. So, you know, and I am by no means a guru when it comes to this. Like, I look at someone like Dalai Lama and I go, I've got a wee way to go. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it would be remiss of me and irresponsible of me to say, look at me, I do it right, and come on, follow me. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying we're at different parts of our journey, and in this instance I'm talking about the meditation journey and how do we connect with ourselves, how do we get to that point. Going in and just being quiet for 1 minute without being disturbed is an accomplishment for a lot of people, especially at the beginning. So give yourself some grace, and space to be able to do, just try it for a minute, and then notice if words come in, and then just let them go. And then thoughts come in, and then just observe, and then just let it go. Breathe it in, breathe it out, breathe it in, breathe it out, breathe in the space, let out the negative thoughts or whatever it is. Just let everything go, just let everything pass. Okay, now the other thing that I would also say is, I have personally found that people with a high level of trauma, actual trauma in their life, I'm not talking attachment trauma, I'm talking about actual physical trauma like PTSDs, sexual assault, that kind of thing, physical assault, mental abuse, whatever the case might be. I would say don't even try just yet, because you need to heal. I find that the most traumatized cannot be quiet. They find it extremely uncomfortable, and actually, if anything, you need to do guided meditation. So I would be go get your healing, and if you're not ready to get your healing, do guided meditations for now, and at some point when you're ready to do the work on yourself to heal yourself and become complete, you will then be able to shift into the zone of doing 1 minute in your quiet space. And that, when you get there, that's absolute gold. It's absolute gold. That is such an accomplishment in a person's lifetime, especially when they've had a lot of trauma in their life, where they can actually get to a point where they can be comfortable with themselves. And I think this is where it really becomes a thing. It's it's reconnecting to who we really are, which is at a source level, at a soul level, at a and we came from that. That is not something I believe need be feared. Why would you fear yourself, right? This earth is here because of the Creator. We are here because of the Creator. Whoever that Creator is for you is a label that you carry for you and your religion or spirituality or whatever the case might be. But we are here as souls within these meat packs. So coming back and giving time for your soul, some people call it inner child, but the inner child has, some people will talk about, the golden angel, the higher self, the whatever, and then your guardian angels, and then they talk about guides, and they talked about, people who've crossed over and gone beyond, then they talk about God, source, and everything. That inner soul is part of all of that. It's all one, guys. It's all one. That's all in us. And giving time for that part of you, which is actually way bigger than you, way bigger, beyond your imagination bigger. Okay, giving yourself time to connect with that is gold. It's absolute gold. So give it a try. If you're a newbie on the block, give it a try. Just go, okay, and if you're really uncomfortable, ask yourself why. And then, is it that I need, to address some things that I need to address in my lifetime and brave enough to go there? Or is it that the ego will get really quite antsy with you? It's like a child. It's like a kid, like a toddler, if I'm honest. You know how they stamp their feet? I call it Spanish dancing. I've got the Spanish dancing shoes in my Vicky Jane channel if you want to go listen to that. And they throw an absolute tantrum until they shout and shout and shout until they get your attention. Eventually it goes quiet, or you give the child attention and you say, right, okay, why are you needing to make all this noise? We don't need to make all this noise. We just want to be quiet now. What's the problem? Talk it out, and talk to it as if it was a child, until it calms down, and go, I would just like to have just a minute of quiet. I will come back to you. I do love you. I am I know that you're there. I acknowledge your existence, and just give it the time of day that it's wanting, but then also hold your boundary line and go, but I'm still going to do my meditation. Okay, so you just need to understand that. Okay, so just have that conversation. Try it out. Do the white light and the supernova blue light if you need to feel safe, and just be conscious of consciousness. I don't know how else to say it. Time to reconnect to who you really are, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Namaste.